I grew up in a city that I'd call small in the northeast of China. While it does boast a population of over 6 million people, it has always felt too small compared to the huge cities I frequented growing up. Shanghai, Beijing, Hong Kong were all bustling metropolises compared to the small world of school, home, and school again I was so used to. Looking back, my horizons grew far too early, and as I was thrown into the world at the ripe old age of 12, I will still never understand why my father decided to send me to a boarding school in Wales of all places, but I suspect that a scholarship had something to do with his decision. Regardless, I was now in a small town of a few thousand people. I was in a place without buildings over 3 stories tall, with parks and nothingness dotted between streets, with the quiet finally audible. With the change in my perception of scale also came a change in my experience of community. In my home city, I would almost never find myself recognizing someone on the street, outside of our designated times and spaces of interaction. To see a classmate or even a friend, although we had more than 50 people per class, was an occurrence so rare that to this day I remember running into one of them at a shopping mall. In that little town in Wales where I started my middle school, almost everyone knew each other. There were only so many places a 13-year-old could go after school. Friends became much more than people I met in class and I never saw again over the weekends. They became integral to my time there. It felt, perhaps paradoxically, that I, as a foreigner and a bit of a nerd, would feel more of a community in a town worlds away than I did back home. Especially considering that China is supposed to be community-based. In China, the foundation of all social interactions and morality is Confucianism. And yes, we also have that joke in Chinese where a random quote is attributed to Confucius simply because his book of quotes, the 论语, is quoted almost constantly and covers everything. For Confucius, the key to both personal happiness and societal success was to be a virtuous person, also known as 君子. A 君子, as I was taught, must adhere to a certain set of principles of standards. First, we have 仁, which is benevolence, caring about the well-being of others. 义, righteousness, the moral choices that forego an individual's own benefits to do the right thing. 礼, which is propriety or adherence to customs and rituals, respect to the social norms that Confucius is so built on. 智, which is wisdom, the ability to judge situations and the correct course of action. And finally, we have 信, trustworthiness, keeping one's word and integrity in all situations.